Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard. Today we're finally going to get out at the range with the Savage 93 TRR-SR. Now I've already done a couple videos with this gun, not so much with the gun as I have the scope, because the scope was, well, it was the topic of a video. Now we're going to take a look at the rifle itself. Now like I said, this thing it's the Savage TRR-SR, and TRR-SR means, SR means suppressor ready. So it does have a half 28 threaded muzzle on there. It's got a thread protector on it. 22-inch fluted carbon steel barrel on there. It is free floated, but I did notice there's a little bit of the stock and the barrel don't line up perfectly. I don't think it's touching, but it's a little closer to one side than it is the other. This is a tactical hardwood stock, they call it. Now it is painted with this kind of a splattered paint, black textured paint, and I really like it. I like the looks of it. I like the pistol grip sort of palm swell on there. It is a bolt action 17 HMR rifle. There's no ammo in it. There's the magazine right there. Comes with a 5-round detachable box magazine. I think you can get it with a 10-round magazine. But it's just a really cool rifle. Now it's been out since, well, I don't know exactly when the TRR-SR came out, but it can't be any older than 2002 because that's when the 17 HMR was developed. Now I do have the CVLIFE 5-25 by 56 scope on here with the sunshade on it, and I've got the flip up covers on there, which I will probably leave on there. I did put a Blackhawk bipod on here. This is a pivoting bipod, so it does allow me to be on a sloped area and be able to lean the rifle one way or the other to kind of compensate for that, because obviously you want it straight up and down because that's the way everything's calibrated. Now I did put some Monstrum rings on here. If you watch the videos on the scope, you'll notice that it came with some really tall scope rings on there, and I did not like those. Those were terrible for this setup. So I did buy these Monstrum scope rings, and this one has the little level built into the rear ring, and it's actually, I find it's pretty accurate. I did level up the rifle before I put the scope on there and then put the rings on there and tightened it all down, and it actually reads true to what the rifle is. It's just up to you to get the scope to be leveled with those things. I did set my zero stop on here. I did a box test and everything on it. I'm really impressed with the scope. I'm really impressed with the rifle. And this rifle, I got it, like I said, I've been wanting this thing for a long time. I want to say I paid around $600 for it. I'll put the true price up there somewhere. I put the Blackhawk bipod on it, and I did put just a cheap, this is an Outdoor Connections rifle sling on here. The bipod is adjustable on the length. Now it pulls all the way out and clicks. I think that's, not sure what that is, 12 inches, 13, 14, something like that. It is pretty high. Now this one, to adjust the length on it, you can push these in, it clicks, locks into place there. You can adjust it anywhere in between by tightening the little screw down on there. I don't know that I really like that. I wish it had multiple places for it to click, but it does do what it's supposed to do. You can push that down and it will retract on its own, and retracts pretty quick too. Love the feel of this rifle. Love the way it shoots so far, even though I only did just the sighting in and the box test with the scope. This is going to be my probably my go-to varmint getter for groundhogs. Rabbit season is coming up pretty soon here in Ohio, so may use it to keep some of them little bunnies in check. And it's just a really cool rifle. Now this does have the AccuTrigger on it. It is bolt action. I think it's adjustable from 3 to 5 pounds, somewhere around there. I may be getting that confused with another rifle. Unfortunately with this one though, to do the adjustment on the AccuTrigger, you actually have to remove the action from the stock. Now when you remove the action from this stock, what you got to do is get you, I think this is a 532 Allen wrench. There are 4 screws on the bottom of this. You only have to take out 2. You take out the one at the front of the mag well, and it is a captive unit, so it will hold in place there. So we got that one out, and you take out the one at the front of the trigger guard. Those are the only two screws you have to remove. The one at the back of the trigger guard is set into wood. That's just to hold the trigger guard into the stock. The rear screw is not captive. The other one holds the plate around the mag well in there. And then just give it a little pry, and you can take it right out of the stock there. Now, it should have came with a tool to adjust the AccuTrigger, and it's this little spring right here. You'll have to put it in there and adjust it. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. The only thing I do not like about this rifle is the scope base that they put on here. Has these two, you can see it pretty easily right here, has these two Picatinny rails on the side there. I do not like those. I see no use for them whatsoever. But they're there, and that's the way it's going to be. Put it back in. All you got to do is just line everything back up, drop it right back down in there, and then go ahead and put your screws back in. Like I said, the one at the front is a captive unit, so that one's not going to fall out on you. And you don't have to hammer down on these. Just give them a little snugging. Put your front one back in there, the front of the trigger guard. It does have a plastic trigger guard on it. I don't think you want to over tighten that for sure. The rest of it, this goes into the lug on the barrel to hold it in there. And that's it. A nice big oversized bolt handle on it to take the bolt out of here for cleaning. Go ahead and pull your bolt back, pull your trigger all the way back, and you can pull the bolt right out of it. 17 HMR bolt action. It resets the bolt when you cock it. So clean it up is a piece of cake on here. It's got two extractors on it, so just, you know, wipe it down, clean it up. You got a full access through the bore there, so if you want to use a bore snake or your cleaning rod or whatever patches and everything you want to use, I have already cleaned this one up, so it's good to go. So now put the bolt back in it, just line it back up in there, and pull your trigger all the way to the back again, push the bolt all the way in, and you're back in business. It is rim fired. Don't dry fire it if you don't have to, and I can't think of a reason why you would have to dry fire it, but let's not dry fire it. Anyways, let's get this thing out on the range and take a few shots with it and see how it does. Okay, we're out here on the 100-yard range with the Savage TRR-SR, and I've got some CCI VMAX 17 HMRs here. These are clocking in at 2,550 feet per second. I like that. I like that speed. Now, there's a slight breeze that picks up and lets off a little bit out here, and I don't think it's going to affect much of it. Now, you'll notice that I did take away the hydro sled, and I've just got it set up on the bipod here because I want to use this for actual, you know, going out there and hunting some varmints or some coyotes, rabbits, groundhogs, whatever. And I want to get used to it on the bipod because that's the way I'm actually going to be shooting it. I'm not going to be shooting everything from the rest here. I'm going to be taking it out in the field. Little 5-round magazine, box magazine, stick magazine, whatever you want to call it. Just take your round, push it right down in there, and push it back. Piece of cake. These are rim fire, so I mean they're not the most they're pretty plentiful. They're not extremely inexpensive. They are a little pricey, about the same price you'd pay for 22 Magnums, but they're available in a bunch of different styles of bullet too. These VMAX here, these are 17 HMR polymer tip. They are a 17 grain bullet. Now they are affected by the wind a little bit, but at 100 yards, no, not so much. And I do have this zeroed in at 100 yards. I'm going to get the ears in, I'm going to get the eyes on, and then we're going to give it a couple shots up there at the 100-yard target. Now, one of the things about being on the bipod like this, there's going to be a whole lot more human element in here than it is on the hydro sled. So like I said, I want to get used to shooting it like this. Probably from the prone position, even though I am going to do it on the bench here, and this will probably be one of the last videos I do on this bench. It's time to get replaced. But anyways, let's give it a few shots. Okay, there's my 5 shots. The cool thing about this, with it being on the bipod and not on the hydro sled, is I can actually see my heartbeat through there. That scope, every time you breathe, your heartbeat and everything. So the bipod doesn't really stabilize it rock solid, but it's going to be a whole lot easier than standing there taking a shot at a groundhog or a rabbit or a coyote offhand. If you can lay down on the ground and get this thing stabilized the best you can, it's going to make your shots a lot better. And it's going to make you a better shooter having to fight those things as opposed to being in a stand that's going to hold it pretty solid anyways. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of them, if you take away the one flyer there, that is pretty close to being 1 MOA. And it's just one step above offhand shooting with it being on the bipod. There's a little bit of wobbly there, a little bit of movement, a little bit of breeze picked up while I was taking a couple of shots. I'm not going to blame any of that on the breeze. That's all me right there. The rifle is plenty accurate, I'm sure of it. And even if it's only 1 MOA, that is definitely a groundhog, squirrel, rabbit, or coyote head at 100 yards easily. Let's get this thing out and try some more real world scenarios, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to come across any varmints today, but let's take it out in the field over on the other side of the hill and do some prone shots with it. Now this is one of my favorite places to come up here and sit. In fact, I've been working up here for the last couple weeks clearing out some of the underbrush and the growth and everything that's just been taken over for the last 10 or 12 years I've been here. And it's really a beautiful, peaceful place to come and sit. Even if I'm not doing any hunting, I like to come up here and sit. I have seen quite a few squirrels over here from time to time. I've sat up here and watched deer and turkey and everything, and it's just, even if you're not doing anything, it's just a nice place to just take it all in. So if I don't see anything here, within a reasonable amount of time, I got a golf ball here I'll set out there in the field, probably, I don't know, maybe 100 yards, 80 yards to 120 yards away, and we'll take a couple shots at that. But I'm going to be quiet for a little bit and see if some squirrels show their heads, and maybe have me a little snack tonight. All right, since I wasn't able to see any varmints or critters or anything out here, I went ahead and put the golf ball down there. This will be as close to a real world situation as I can get in a short amount of time anyways. I don't know how far I put it down there, maybe 100 yards, somewhere around there anyways. I got my earplugs in, I get my eyes on, and I'm gonna take a shot at that golf ball. Hopefully just one shot. Looks like it was just a little bit high. So we'll do it again. Did not see that impact. All right, I moved it. I was about one MOA off, I guess. Maybe I need to do a little more fine tuning on there, but had it been a squirrel, I'd have probably missed it, or a groundhog. Like I said, I don't know exactly where my distance is. According to my parallax adjustment on here, it is right at 100 yards. Then, like I said before, it's not a range finder. It just gives you a good idea where everything's at. So it took me, what, 4 shots to get it. I could see where I was impacting, a little bit high and to the right, and then I adjusted over there, a little Kentucky windage, and was able to get it. I don't think it was a direct hit. I may have just hit the tee for all I know, but anyways. Okay, so I went down there and I cleaned up everything, and I picked up the golf ball there, and I've got a little scuff on the side there where the bullet hit it and just kind of knocked it off the tee there. It's not the fault of the rifle. That's the fault of me, I'm sure, because I know this thing can really shoot accurately. Whether or not I can get it out of it is another story. I am shooting off a bipod. I was shooting prone. I am laying on the side of a hill. I'm coming up with all kind of excuses, but it's not the rifle's fault. I can't blame it on that. I think with a little more practice with it, I've only run about 40 rounds through this rifle, so there's still a little bit of tweaking I can do to make sure it is where it needs to be. And then maybe this spring, if I take it out to do some groundhog hunting when they come back around. It's fall right now, it's getting chilly, so they're not quite as active, but it's gonna be a fun varmint getter, I think. Anyways, if you could reach up here and hit this button to check out some of my other videos, hit the little round one down here to subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review.